What is up, guys? The other day I made a video about my baby rose bushes. I just got new rose plants and I was emphasizing that the specific variety of rose I got is known for producing large rose hips, right? And that's because I want to grow them to be beautiful, fragrant flowers that also produce something that I can harvest. Here I'm showing you my by the pound purchased dried rose hips, also hibiscus flowers and orange peel. I've made posts about this in the past, how I use this combination. It is a cold infusion, which I'll describe in a minute, of these three critical ingredients that I use for the plant polyphenols, the vitamin C, the bioflavonoids from the peel here, all kinds of goodness. Go ahead and do some research on these ingredients. But the method to the madness is simply I grind them in a coffee grinder. This is an optional step, but I do it to expose more surface area from the ingredients, get a little more bang for my buck, literally for the density of my inputs, but also so that I can then consume the peel. I can consume the actual flowers and the rose hips and the orange peel, having ground them to a powder, because once they absorb water, even the powder gets to be sort of a thick sludge. But you can make that into ice cubes. You can just drink it down like I do, because it's not that serious. But if you leave those things whole, especially if you don't buy them pre-ground, if it's just like cut sifted flowers, things like that, it's going to be fairly chunky. And these pieces of flour will get pretty big once they're fully rehydrated. So all you need to do to make this, literally, this is a couple tablespoons of each, and I'm going to put it in this 32-ounce mason jar, but you can put it in any glass container you have, room temperature, or in your fridge. Let it hang out a couple hours and it's ready to drink. You could even drink it, honestly, almost instantaneously. But what you don't want to do is boil it. You don't want to make it into what we think of as a tea. So again, this is a cold infusion, but again, it doesn't have to be cold. Room temperature, like super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. These ingredients are not particularly expensive and they last a long time. Honestly, like these will last me months. And I drink this almost every day. Not a huge amount, but a concentrated amount that I use. You can use it as a base for a DIY electrolyte drink, which I've shown in the past. You can use it as a kid's beverage masking. This is fruit punch, and add a little sweetener. Or just use it as a drink yourself. I think it's delicious. It's tart. Yes, it's tart. But I don't tend to even use sweetener with it. And I just dilute it to an amount that I appreciate. And that's it. But get your nutrients this way. It's also a really economical way to get some superfood value without having to buy the fancy stuff. Or if you're like me, buying fruit. Fruit is expensive, all right? Fruit is heavy. I can't buy a lot of fresh fruit. I'm just not in that position, especially fancy fruit like kiwi and berries and even oranges. Price per pound is a little bit prohibitive for me. So I'm able to get a lot of fruit nutrients without the sugar, fruit goodness that I don't otherwise get from vegetables, which, I get lots of greens from my garden. Veggies are less expensive than fruit and more filling, right? That little basket of raspberries just isn't going to last me more than a couple minutes. Even frozen, it's just something, it's not a priority in my budget. This allows me to get some fruit nutrients, right? Some critical, look at the antioxidant density color. Look into hibiscus. There's lots of information. It is not just your agua de Jamaica from the cantina that's got too much sugar, is super diluted, and is boiled, right? Actual hibiscus is extremely high in antioxidants. So have a look, do some homework, and try this out. And the reason I'm making this video is because someone did ask me specifically about rose hips being high in vitamin C and about whether or not making a rose hip tea will destroy the vitamin C. And I was confirming for the person, yes, it will. And that's why you do the cold infusion. All right, so I'm going to blend this up. And I'm going to add, this is my old batch. I'm going to finish this most likely today or freeze it into cubes and start a new batch with the portion I blend here. But you've seen all the pieces that you need to know. I hope you enjoy this. I do have a previous post about other ingredients you can use for a DIY electrolyte drink that's super simple. Add some salt to this, add some cream of tartar for potassium, get a trace mineral liquid formula. If you would like to do something like that to make your own basically Gatorade, this is a great base for it. It's also great in smoothies without adding a bunch of sugar, getting some more nutrients, etc. I'm going to cut myself off, but hope this is useful to one of you.